Hey guys, how's it going? Onage here, and welcome to the 5th round of the F1 2014 career mode on the channel here in the Toro Rosso Season 1. And it's time for the Spanish Grand Prix around the beautiful Catalunya circuit. Circuit which I like very much. So we get strapped into our car for the first practice session and, well, actually the final one of course, since there is only one practice session in this game. So, well, starting here our first lap on the prime tire, same driver, maybe not the final sector so much, but definitely the first two sectors are very flowing and I like them a lot. But after the first run I noticed that things were not really going to plan, and so I made some setup adjustments over here, as you can see, going with a little bit more downforce rather than well, better straight line speed. So hopefully this would help me a little bit in cornering, since I was struggling quite a bit there, especially with the rear end. The rear end really wanted to step out on me in basically every corner, especially in turn 3, you know, the very long right-hander. And it's not great when you have an oversteery setup or an oversteery curve through that corner, because that will not help you. With the new setup it went a little bit better, but not as well as I expected. So I went actually back to a low downforce setup, and that time I was half a second quicker, so that was then the way to go with. So I was experimenting a little bit with stuff. In the meantime 20 minutes had passed while I was experimenting with some things. As we see here, here's another lap. Got some oversteer there on the exit of that very quick right-hander, a beautiful corner. But now going on to the option tire, and well, that's a huge difference, as you can see there. It's already 9/10 of a difference in 2 sectors time, so still having the final sector to go. And as you can see there as well, the rain starts to spit. There was indeed rain predicted, and not only for practice, there is also rain predicted for qualifying and the race, I believe. And we have seen that the race is not really an advantage to us, but we'll see how that plays out. 126.186, 1.5 seconds quicker than the prime time. And actually after this lap, I don't know if it's the tires which were falling off or the rain just coming down, and thanks to that the track was less grippy. I think it's thanks to the rain, but I just couldn't improve the time anymore. So yeah, that's time then to go back into the pits. And at the end of the day I didn't do any rain practice. I thought it was pretty unnecessary, you know. It's not a big difference anyway between rain driving and dry driving in this game, in my opinion. You just need to be a little bit more careful on the throttle and take you know, a little bit less speed into the corner. So that is practice, the practice session done with. 8th place, our teammate in 12th there, Rosberg, in the end there in 1st position, topping the time sheet here with a 124.5. So we get into our car there. Sorry about the practice session, it was a little bit short, I know, but yeah, not a lot of things happened. I was just looking a little bit for the best setup, high downforce, low downforce, or well, it's not really high downforce, it's more or less mid downforce. But yeah, low downforce was the way to go with. Q1 then underway. We are gonna go out right now. I was gonna go on the option tire because I didn't really feel comfortable for some reason around this track. You know, it's a track which I like a lot. As I said before, it's one of my favorites. But yeah, for me the car just didn't do what I want. The front end was not there. I had oversteer where I was expecting understeer, and I had understeer where I was expecting oversteer. You know what I mean? It's just it was not great. Anyway, Q1 is underway, and we are going to set our first lap time here on the option tire. So the DRS will be open for this straight here. I have 3 laps of fuel, so we can do two runs here. So the first lap will probably be a benchmark, a banker lap. So coming through this first sector and have a look at the driving style, because I have to correct the car quite a few times here, especially in turn 3. Turn 3 is with the current you know, car, the specs of the car, the high torque. It's the trickiest corner on the track, in my opinion. It's very difficult to not run wide, but yet keep your foot down. Actually, you do not go full throttle through there, at least not in the Toro Rosso, definitely not. There's a big lift before the corner. Anyway, we now come through the second sector. Had a pretty good first sector, could have been worse, was not the best either. And we now come through this quick right-hander, opening up the DRS, 2 DRSs around this track, as we are going to hit some traffic. That is Vettel, and he is right on the apex of the corner. Still hit my apex pretty well though. Could have gone a little bit close to the apex, but Vettel was in the way. 6 tenths down on the current lap time from Gutierrez, and Ricciardo actually drops the time boards right now as I make a mistake into this third sector, and so I'm gonna have to start all over again. This lap will probably not count as our fastest lap, since I went off track as well, but I think we can improve on that lap as we obviously had a poor final sector. So 26.2, that is that banker lap that I was talking about. Puts me up in 7th place at the moment, but obviously we still need to improve for sure. So starting the second lap now, and see how those option tires actually hold on. I do not know whether, you know, you can still put in a very good lap after you have set a lap already, so whether the drop off in performance is just too big. But we'll see, we'll find out I guess. Currently 400s down on that first sector. That's okay, as I said, the first sector was pretty good. It was the second sector where well, I lost maybe slightly a slight amount of time, but not a lot. It was mainly the third sector. But as you can see here, this is some traffic in the way. Magnussen there in the middle of the racing line, and anyway coming through the chicane, and Bottas there, oh, hitting the back of Bottas. Was getting out up by Ericsson as well. Don't know what I was doing there, but nonetheless I hit Bottas. He was just in the middle of the racing line, and so that costs us 6 tenths, and that is not what I can use right now. Lost so much time there, and so I had to abandon the lap. I actually kept on going to see how much time I could make up in that final sector, and I brought the gap down from 7 tenths to 3 tenths. So there's about half a second to be gained in that final sector, and well, the great thing here is that 16th place at the moment, the cutoff point, Magnussen, is half a second ahead of us. So yeah, I just need to improve in this final sector, and then we should be able to get into Q2. So well, with 1.5 minutes to go now, the pressure is on. You're only gonna get one more lap, and this needs to be the lap. So here we go. I do think that the best way of one run, that's exactly what I'm going to do here. So the first sector completed, and actually 2 tenths down in that first sector. That generates some more pressure on you, as you now need to make up for that in this second sector. But my second sector was really good as well, so this creates some pressure locking up into this left-hander. That's gonna cost us a few more tenths probably, and so far the lap hasn't really looked that great. So will we not make it into Q2 then? That would be well, somewhat of a surprise, since I like this track as well so much. But actually, yeah, the weekend didn't go that well for us, to be honest. Opening up the DRS once again here for the second DRS, and breaking at the 1 on the meat board down to second gear, and we are, well, 3 tenths down. We've lost another half a tenth or so, and I know I can improve in this final sector, but will it be enough as I go way too slow through that corner? Need to take much more of the curb. That compromises my line through that right-hander there, and it's not looking great. This corner here is pretty sweet, but now onto this very, very slow chicane. Don't like this chicane. The old layout was much better, but anyway, I can change that. Onto the final corner here, and once again, not the greatest final corner ever, as we are going to cross the line. What the lap time going to be? It's a 1:26.3, a tenth down, so I made up 2 tenths in the final sector, but that's not good enough. And so we are out of Q1 already, and we are going to start in 18th place. And actually Magnussen as well was out of that session, also kicked out of Q1. In the end, the cutoff point was a 1:25.7. I think I could have got that, as we see our teammate did a 1:25.3. So a very good lap from him. But yeah, I personally just couldn't improve again, and that was thanks to my own fault really. I should have done a better lap there. But yeah, I couldn't put in a good lap, so I'm gonna have to make up for this in the race, and we will have a rain race, so that's gonna be exciting. And well, I hope to see you guys then in the race as well. If you have enjoyed the video, I would appreciate a like, and that's pretty much it. Hope to see you guys in the race. Goodbye.